Hi guys, Kim here. Welcome to Backyard Blooms. In today's video, I went to Lowe's yesterday and I got a small plant haul, and I just wanted to share that with you. They are all proven winners, so yes, you can find proven winners at Lowe's or Home Depot. There is a smaller selection than like me going to Creekside Nursery and being able to find every single proven winners that I would like to be able to choose from. But however, for the ones that do find proven winners really hard to find, always take a look at Home Depot, and they always have different things coming in throughout the week, so you just might find something that you've been looking for a while. So I actually came across these gorgeous daylilies. Look how beautiful and bright that orange yellowishy color is. Like, it is so vibrant, and this would be just absolutely gorgeous in any kind of garden. I'm going to put this on my west side garden. I have a lot of blues, and I thought this color would like really accent those blues over there. They have a good height to it, so I like that also. But let me find the plant tag. So this one, of course, is the Proven Winners, part of the Rainbow Rhythm series, and its name is Primal Scream. So it does take a full sun to part sun, which is great because those conditions over there are very similar to that. And it is a perennial, and they will, I'm not going to say divide, you can divide them, but they will start to form more of a larger clump year after year. So they do get 34 inches tall. It says to space them 18 inches. This is a daylily. So yes, these gorgeous blooms do only bloom for one day, but they have so many more buds. Like, look, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more buds on there. So almost every day you're gonna have some sort of bud, which is really good. I got a really good price on these perennials too, less than $12. So its hardiness zone is 3 to 9, and it blooms midsummer. And of course, I already said the light is full to part sun. And let me read the features on here for you. One of the most sought after distinctive daylilies available. Top award winner. It has a huge 8-inch tangerine orange gold dusted blooms, are of unusual form with narrow, twisted, ruffled petals. Wow, that sounds like a little poem, right? Tall scape stands above the attractively arching foliage. And it says its care is tough, adaptable perennial that will grow in almost any soil. Plant in full sun for optimal flowering performance. And it pairs good with coneflowers, perennial sunflowers, rose mallow, chastadales, tall garden phlox, and stonecrop. So let me just show you this bloom closer up. Look how pretty that is. Can you not get any more beautiful than that? Like, look at that. Like, I'll try to take a really good picture with my camera and put it at the very end of the video, how pretty those little calyces are in there. But yeah, this is so pretty. And the next good find that I found at Lowe's was the Supertunia Vista Jazzberry. We were not able to find these anywhere last year. This was my big swoop in front of the house last year, and I'll throw a gorgeous picture of how beautiful these were last year. And they do remind me of like a raspberry color, more on the purplish side. Love how pretty that color is right there. So I was super excited to find these at Lowe's. These were less than $10. It is a Supertunia Vista Jazzberry Petunia from Proven Winners. And it has a mounding, trailing plant to hard frost. Its height is medium, 12 to 24 inches, and it's an annual except in zones 10A to 11B. But I'm zone 8, and guess what? Mine came back last year, or a few of them did. I wouldn't say all of them did. The ones in the front, of course, I went ahead and pulled up because I want to put something different and spectacular there every single year. But the one that I planted 3 really close together in my hydrangea garden, and they came back, and I'll show you pictures of that today. But that is where I'm going to plant these today, underneath my hydrangeas. I think this color looks really good with those limelight, really pretty lime green panicle blooms. They're just absolutely gorgeous. and I like to be able to fill that bottom layer a little bit better. Of course, you already know I like layers of 3, so this is going to be my bottom layer, and then my hydrangeas are my middle layer, and then I have the emerald green arborvitaes as my tall last layer. So that was my find from Lowe's that I wanted to share with you, and they had some more absolutely gorgeous stuff. They had a lot of super bells. So super bells are so gorgeous, but they are not petunias, and they like to be in containers. So keep that in mind. Like if you go there and you see a super bells, like, and it doesn't say that it's, the blooms are actually smaller too, and I'll show you pictures of my super bells, but just keep in mind that they don't like wet feet, so they want to be in containers. They do not do good in the ground. So I have 5 of these that I'm going to plant today, and I am going to get them planted because I'm going on vacation next week, and I don't want these hanging around in this little area that I'll always have to plant. So of course I've already talked about this hosta, and I'm going to get this planted today, and look how big this container is. So this is going to be a big hole, unfortunately. So this one is a sun hosta, and yes, you can plant hostas in sun, but it has to be a sun hosta. And evidently they're hard to find, and most people don't know about them. So yeah, and that's all it is called, is hosta sun number 3. I'll show you. So I happened to go to a nursery that someone told me about in Blythewood, South Carolina. That's one of the offices that I go to do ultrasound. So anyways, like I stopped by and I found one of these. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go ahead and get it. So this was roughly around $25, I believe, for this hosta right here. So this one's gonna go in the sun, and I'm gonna plant that on my west garden, the new garden that I planted up this past year. And I've got one more hosta. This one I bought online, and it came as a bare root. So I just put it in this little pot and added some soil in there, and this one went ahead and leafed out for me. So this one takes shade, and wow, this really has a long name, so I'm gonna have to throw the name up for you. Tokudama. And I have still no idea if I'm saying that right. Tokudama. Anyways, I'll throw the name up on the screen for you. This one takes partial to full shade. It is a midsummer flowering. Its height is only 18 to 20 inches, and plant just below soil level and 24 to 36 inches apart. Its features are frosty blue with a width, not sure what that means, irregular chartreuse margin, light lavender flowers. Before planting, soak in water for 30 minutes. So that's good to know. It's pretty wet though. And actually, when you do plant anything bare root, you do want to soak that for 30 minutes to an hour. And I soak all my bare root plants before I plant them. So I don't know if you can see this, but I pulled that plant away, and there's slugs underneath of them. Yuck. So the last thing that I'm going to plant today, or I'm not in any order, of course, is this Sensation honeysuckle. I've had this plant for a good while. I bought this at Creekside Nursery, and I was going to think about putting this plant up onto my arbor, but I've decided I'm not going to. So I have a couple of small arbors on that west side that's up next to the house that I'm going to have this climb against. So this was in bloom, but there's, you can see right there, it was in bloom. I have lots that are about ready to come out in bloom. So still lots of little, you can see buds on there. So still lots of blooms to come. This is a good sized container, as you can see. And you can tell that it likes to climb. So let me tell you about this honeysuckle. So the sweetly scented yellow flowers of Sensation honeysuckle bloom from mid-spring to late summer. Beautiful grown on a trellis or a fence. And this one is non-invasive. So that's what I liked about this, because I just love that they keep making hybrids that are like better and better to plant, and stuff that you used to would avoid and not want to plant in your garden, now that you are able to plant that in your garden. So it's pretty exciting. So this light exposure likes to be in sun. It's non-invasive, it's fragrant, it has long blooming, and it does have the interest. It's spring and summer. So I'm not sure if this is deciduous or not. Doesn't say. So its hardiness zones are 4 to 9, and it gets 10 feet tall by 2 to 4 feet wide. So they can get pretty tall. Pruning seldom needed after flowering. So, and the deer resistance is just medium. So I'm going to use my power planter today, and I'm going to take all these flowers to their new space or their new home, and then we're going to get to planting. So I want to take the time to do like a little quick tour of this west side garden. This garden is newly planted this year, you guys. Like, look how gorgeous it is the very first year. Can you believe it? How much stuff that I was able to go ahead and plant. Now, granted, I do have lots of annuals in here to help fill some space, but I love annuals. Annuals will give you that pop of color all throughout the summer, where perennials are going to give it to you maybe a month at a time. So these are my proven winner petunias. This one is the new persimmon. Look how the sun just shines through that. And then this yellow goes really well together with it. And then the purple looks fine too. I feel like with the dark mulch, it kind of gets lost a little bit. And the Gomphrenias are doing really, really good, as you can see. That one was transplanted, so maybe, hopefully, it'll get some new blooms and do really well. It was in a not so sunny area, which was right underneath there. Look how huge that hardy hibiscus is. It's taller than me. All right. So we originally planted this hill up because it was starting to erode, and in between these two houses it didn't want to grow very well. These are the new coneflowers, the raspberry beret. Look how gorgeous that is, you guys. Like, I can't just explain to you how beautiful that is. Look how big it is. So this is how they start out, and this is how it ends. Just absolutely gorgeous. And that is a perennial for us. And this one's going to be the yellow one. And I have not seen any blooms on this one yet, the yellows, but it's about ready to come. And then I have the luscious lantana from Proven Winners. This is going to be the serendipity, and I'm starting to have a few little blooms come out. That's in the onion family. And this is the brand new sun hosta that I just planted. So look at that added texture and color. Love how it just brings that pop of brightness to the garden. And of course, that's the Amsonia. That's going to give me spring and fall interest. And the sweet spire. And my rose is doing good, besides the Japanese beetles all over it. So first flush has already happened, and then I pruned it back, and now you can see I'm starting to get some more buds up there. I do love that trellis. And then I have lots of bubblegum super petunias in here. That's one plant. Look how massive it's already gotten. So can you imagine by the end of the summer how it will just come all the way down here? It's going to be so, so pretty. Look at all that massive color I already have. And this is the salvia. This is the annual salvia, but I believe they'll come back for us. The bees have been on this one all day long. And I have a Japanese beetle over here too. That is what it looks like. My yin and yang that I transplanted is doing really good and has a couple of teeny tiny little blooms on it. That one will stay as an evergreen through the winter. I like that. And this was the dianthesis that's already gone out of bloom. So you guys, if you have these little extra stalks and you don't want these, you can just cut these back like so. I don't really have a lot of them on there, but it just gives it a little bit cleaner look right here. Got one up here. And you can do the same also with the hydrangeas that have already gone out of bloom. Some new blooms. I love how this has the blue and pink and some purple on it, all on one plant. This is the tiny tough stuff mountain hydrangea, and this is a columbine that I planted earlier in the year, and this is the newly planted honeysuckle. So I need to give that some water, and I think once it's in the ground for a couple of days it will like perk up. And this is the trellis that I had on the roses before and decided to remove those because they were just too wimpy for my roses. But you can see that I've got some new buds about ready to come out. So excited about that whenever there's a little bit of a bud that's starting to come out of bloom right there. So I'll try to train that up. I might have to tie it a little bit, but hopefully it'll just start to catch on, that trellis. And then the hydrangeas that I transplanted from the front are doing great. And this is the new daylily from Proven Winners that I got at Lowe's that I just planted. And I planted 3 of those kind of like in a triangle. I've got one there, one here, and one right here. So let me just give you a different view. This is the edge of the garden right here. And then I just planted 3 in a triangle. 1, 2, and 3. Butterfly bushes are doing really good. So even though they say deadheading's not really necessary for butterfly bushes, I like to give it a clean look. And I think it just brings them, just gives them a more chance to rebloom. So you can see that they're already starting to come out right here and right there. But if you just cut that off right here, you can see where those new buds are gonna come out, like right here and right there. Like I said, I just feel like it gives it a cleaner look. It's hard to do with one hand, of course. But so I just wanted to show you how I do that. And then once I'm finished here videoing, I'm gonna come back and give all those that are already spent a good haircut. The hydrangeas are looking good. The hardy hibiscus, this is the lavender. If I can keep the beetles off this one too. You can see there's a beetle right there. Anyways, I've got lots of blooms. I'm about ready to come out on this one, so I'm excited to share that with you when they start coming out. I think that lilac against this right here is gonna be gorgeous. Look at this bumblebee. Loving this butterfly bush. So pretty. We just went to the butterfly exhibit at the Daniel Stowe Botanical Garden, and oh my gosh, I'm gonna share some pictures on here with you with the butterflies. I haven't really seen a lot of butterflies yet. I've seen one yellow swallowtail buzzing around, but that's it. And then when you see a cluster like this too, like this whole entire cluster, then you could take it off. Let's see. You can just come all the way down and cut this all the way off. I can just show you bees all day long. I think they're just gorgeous, entertaining, and they could care less that I'm right here up close filming them. They just don't care. And then the same with the spent. Whenever these completely go out of bloom, the coneflowers, you can cut them back. I think the deer got that one for me. They've been really bad this week. Bad, bad, bad. So I have 5 butterfly bushes in here. And I have them all spread out as a drift. This is lantana. The butterflies love lantana once they get here. And coleus, that's the lime-time coleus. Another butterfly bush, looks gorgeous with salvia there. Got another tough stuff hydrangea over here. Look how dainty those flowers are. Another butterfly bush. Cantaloupe coneflowers from Proven Winners. And I think everybody told me that those were ligustrums, I believe. They have not started to bloom yet, but they're gonna have long blooms up the stalk, as you can see. So I'm excited to see those. I have 25 of those corms planted in there. Another lime thyme, another bubblegum. That's the Sweet Carolina potato vine. I have several of those in this garden. And then over here, these are my newly planted Munstead wood roses. I don't have any blooms on them just yet. I've had a few. And then I got gentleman lace in my head. Oh shoot. If I think of the name, I'll put it up. And then the same with these roses. You can deadhead these roses too once they're finished. Just take them down to like a set of 5 leaves. I have a new one coming out right there. That's how deep the color is. This one right here is not doing so good. I'm just gonna cut this out. This one's not good either. These roses really have struggled this year. Usually don't have any problems out of them. The bare root. All right, so just looking back, painting at this garden right here, how gorgeous it is. Oh, look at the hydrangea trees too. Isn't that gonna be pretty when they get done blooming? It is gonna be heavy. I have it right in out my living room window there, so I can enjoy that and not be right up against the bare house that's next to me. Oh, everything is so gorgeous and it's doing so good. Everything I have amended the soil with a little bit of compost, either Black Cow or the Land and Sea compost, and then everything has gotten some biotone for the root starter in it. So looky here, it is empty. This is where I collect all my stuff that needs to be planted. I only have this one little red bud, Chinese red bud that someone propagated and gave to me, and it's still just hanging in this pot because it's pretty fragile. Geez, can't speak now after all my hard work. So this is a little skinny side garden. These are the Blue My Mind evolvulus and the sun begonias. They're doing really good. I have 2 different varieties in here. The smaller kind, that's the double. And then the Surefire, these are so pretty. Surefire begonias do really well here. So just have a whole drift of them. Can you believe my violas are still hanging in? This is my little perennial garden right here for shade. And I'm just slowly trying to build it up. So there was my shade hosta that I planted. Got planted today. That was the one that was on my to-do list that I said earlier in the video. And let's go on down. So same theme down here. Air conditioner's on, so like this time of year, they're just either mine or my neighbors are kicking on constantly. The coneflowers are looking really good. These are the double up bubblegum, I believe. And that's another variety. I do love that hot pink. So next year, note that it's too wet for these sedums right here. They like have fungus on them, so can you see? They're not really happy. So I'm gonna let them flower and maybe in the fall replant them somewhere else. And look at that stink fungus or whatever that is too. That's how wet it is in this area. Of course this side gets shade, not full sun. And then So all of my limelight hydrangeas are about ready to bud out. I'm so excited. These geraniums are looking really, really awesome. And look, you can see some peeking up all the way up through here, which I think is really, really cool. That was unexpected and a good surprise. So you can see that I have one up over here too. Had no idea that they'd get that tall, but I love how they mingle together. So there's not going to be too much planting in this area here for me anymore because it is completely root bound. These were the jazzberries that I told you before that came back from last year. And then I have the geranium right next to it. And I bought 2 more so I can kind of carry the same theme. I'm having to walk backwards because of the sun. But I managed to get one planted there. I tried right there, but it was just completely root bound. So I know when I put these geraniums in, like I struggled getting those planted, but they took off, so they're doing great. And let's see, coming down this way, my Panaceum looks kind of sad. Chasta daisies are about done. And I usually don't get another flush, but look, I see some new ones. I've never had that happen. Well, let's see what they do. And then I planted my other one right there because I bought 2. So those are the jazzberries, and you can tell that like these sedums are super happy and look super healthy. That's what they were supposed to look like. But anyways, and this butterfly bush down here is doing really good. It's about time to come get these old blooms off. Look how pretty they are. They're so big. All right, so that is the hydrangea garden, and the deer came and got a snack again. Good for them, I guess. Look what these containers are looking like right here. That was my very first video of the season. Love these grape punch super bells. They're so daggone pretty. And that verbena is doing really good. Amethyst verbena. And then let's pan over here. The deer got a snacky on that one again. I need to work on this little garden down here, my raised bed. You need to get that big tree out. It's not a tree, but look at that. It's gigantor. It came back up from something, a seed from last year. Almost everything in there was seed except for the vegetables that I planted. And I already have squash and cucumbers. Tomatoes are growing. So need to come and prune these. They're kind of looking sad. I really battled with black spot this year and fungus. We've gotten more rain this year than normal. Look how pretty this garden is right now. I love it. Grass is looking great. We do put a soil amendment down every single month to turn this soil that was awful clay soil into really good soil for this rhizomes, for this Bermuda to grow. And then, so with the soil amendment, we also put the Anderson's PGF Complete every single month on that. All right, so what else did I get planted today? Just pruned this rose bush back. Try to get all the dead spot off of that one. I just took the leaves completely off. And I'm gonna spray it with copper fungicide. And then I'm gonna give it some good rose tone and I need to mulch that area also. And then this is the cottage garden, and I planted, oh, I had one more of the Gara to plant, and I got that planted right there. So I do have a video coming out about that, about my Gara. What else did I plant today? I already showed you the west garden. So I had to get out of the sun and get under my porch right here. It feels really good. There's a nice breeze. It's really hot today. I'm guessing 85, 90 degrees today. Well, anyways, I've got all my stuff planted, and I hope that you go to Lowe's and check out their plants too, because they do have a good variety of proven winners right now. I haven't been to Home Depot in a while because I have to go out of my way, but they used to carry a good amount of proven winners as well. So I hope I inspired you to get out and plant still, and I'm so glad that I got all my to-do list planted and going to the beach next week. So anyways, see you in the next video. Bye, friends.